Hello, everyone. My name is Kimberly, and we are here today at Indie Wavemakers to talk about a new game from Outlier Games called Mars Attacks. And with me today is Paul Fraggett, the creative director of Outlier Games and of Mars Attacks. Paul, hi.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello. Yeah, so I'm so excited to check out this game today. I wanted to ask, yeah, where did the inspiration comes from? I mean, obviously we are all aware of the very iconic film Mars
Mhm.
Attacks, as well as the card game that inspired the film. But what, yeah, inspired you guys to make a game from that franchise?
Yeah, well, actually, the original concept of the game was more gameplay focused. So we
Mm.
had this idea for a park builder where you essentially imprison humans and then treat them as you would zoo animals for alien guests. And with that concept, we thought that was really interesting, something that had gameplay implications that we didn't really hadn't seen before in other kind of similar games in the genre. And from there, thought had the idea that. It really synced really well with the Mars Attacks IP, and it was really just a kind of speculative number of phone calls to try and reach out to see if it could become a reality. And we were super lucky that Tops, who own Mars Attacks, really loved the idea. And so that kind of quirky gameplay concept was the foundation of the game. And Mars Attacks came as uh, yeah, really a gameplay concept first, and then attach the IP slightly later on in prototyping stage.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I really found that like when I saw the trailer and saw that, you imprison humans, that's like a very unique way of like turning the concept of like a theme park on its head. Um, and obviously, yeah, inflicting pain on humans as we inflict on other living things, which is fun to see. And yeah, and I like how it expands a little bit on the whole like abduction component that we see in the film as well. Um, and I'm curious to see if maybe you have like human experimentation down the line in the game.
Yeah, for sure. So that's going to be a big part of gameplay is progression through research, and research is essentially human experimentation. So I think one element that also inspired us is the kind of the games from our youth, so the Theme Hospital or Dungeon Keeper or Evil Genius.
Yeah,
So taking a little of that sense of mischief and sinister nature and having a bit of fun with it is a core part of the game.
awesome. Okay. Well, I'm all ready to talk more about the game, but I think let's jump into the demo so that you can walk me through kind of like the initial experience and the concept behind it. Okay. So first frontiers. I'm guessing this is like the tutorial.
Exactly. So
I
for the
really I do love the art style.
oh,
Human
thank you.
skin is surprisingly water resistant. Park's atmosphere. Hence the smell. I like that. All right, so first we see here our starter theme park. And I do like the dialogue too, like a nice nod to the movie.
Yeah, if anybody's familiar with the Akakak, it's very iconic.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Um,
Um, okay. Okay, so now we see our first objectives. Move the camera. All right, with right mouse button, and then rotate with middle, QE, and then zoom. Right. Okay. Ah, already I get to build my first ride.
yeah, so a lot of the demo is really kind of getting you ramped up with the controls and the systems of the game. But the entertainment for guests is really split between rides, which you can see here. They start relatively basic, kind of generic sci-fi, and then really go into the weird and wacky as Martians kind of unlock more human-related rides. But then the second part is the humans themselves. So human enclosures are attractions for guests to come and have a look at and observe the weird and wonderful things that humans do.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I will put the Ferris wheel here so that the people who ride it can have the view of the humans that are gonna be in here.
Mhm.
Maybe. And then we have to put this queue door. And do we need like paths for people to walk on, or is that not a must-have?
They can walk on paths and they'll prefer it, but it's not essential.
So it'll
They should
add,
be able to get there.
yeah, okay. So it's more of a preference thing for, is it
Mhm.
like a happiness scale thing?
Exactly,
Like,
yeah. So you
okay.
can click on any guests and see what they're happy and sad about, and they'll try and satisfy their various needs as best they can.
Okay. I love that. I like think it's a little bit about like a little Sims-esque as well.
Hmm.
Okay. So I imagine utilities are something that you don't want people to see right away, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of balancing the function of the park, the power, water, research facilities, all that kind of stuff, with the more attractive things that guests will actually enjoy. So as a player, you'll have to balance kind of where you want to place those, but there's also, with the possibility of human escapes, security implications. So if you had, for example, a powered fence and kept the power generator a long way away, and the human takes down the cable between them, then you've got the risk of other humans escaping. So it's kind of a bit of a layout puzzle as well as you develop further into the game.
Overlays menu. What is the beauty
Yeah.
overlay?
So if you just right click, then it'll close down the building menu.
Oh, this one? Oh, this
No,
one.
just right click on the mouse.
Oh, okay.
Right click.
Yeah.
There you go. And then you've got the arrow in the bottom left pointing you to
Okay.
the overlays. The bottom left.
Oh, there. Okay, so you see beauty. Ah.
So you can see there the decorations near the entrance are very pleasing to guests, whereas the power generator is.
Yeah, so good thing I put it like a good distance away. Okay, acquisitions. Ooh, the exciting part. So we are abducting someone from ancient Rome. So what made you guys like think about like abducting people from like ancient times?
Yeah, well, it's a widespread. So we just start off with Rome, but there's lots of different habitats that players can abduct humans from. And what that really allows us to do is differentiate the humans in terms of their tastes and preferences, but also the architecture. So each enclosure, you've got a whole suite of different kind of Roman-themed buildings and amenities for your humans here. But if you built, for example, a Wild West or a feudal Japan or an ancient Egypt or basically any period through human history, then you get really interesting different enclosures, and guests will have different preferences as well in terms of what kind of humans they like to see.
Yeah, for sure. I think the architecture is the thing that excites me the most as someone who likes building houses and for people. And now, ooh, I need to feed the human. Food. And so is there like, is it always going to be fixed in like a square, or can you like expand the human habitat as you please?
Yeah. So you, as you play through the game, you'll be building out your own habitats, and they don't have to be square. They can be or any shape. You can kind of drag them as you see fit, and then fill those habitats with all different types of, as you can see here, kind of fountains and food and entertainment and things for the human. It'll be really a balance of trying to keep the human happy while also perhaps getting them happy enough that you can experiment on them without them trying to escape.
Ooh. And is there like a reproduction component to it as well?
Not currently.
Okay.
But this is actually a really early demo.
Yeah.
You can just right click to get rid of the.
Okay, schedule.
The game is kind of scheduled for early access in 2025, and through that we'll inform the roadmap of what kind of features. So if we get that kind of human breeding concept is super popular, then that might be something that comes along in the future as well.
Okay, speed toggle. All right. Okay. Yeah, and here I was worrying about human population control, but actually, now that my guests are coming in, I'm now worried that too many people are coming with nothing to see. Research. So here's the research component you were talking about. So I guess it's a little bit like a skill tree in a sense. You can unlock things with money. And this is the first.
So This will in the this build, the research, you can just unlock the first few things, but as the game progresses, this will be driven by human experimentation. So you'll have to hire scientists and have scientists experiment on the humans in your enclosure, and then of course risk making them unhappy and potentially them escaping.
Okay, okay. Now I remember what you said about keeping people happy, so I want to create more paths for people to get on like the only ride that we have. And then like have them. And I'm trying to think of like a typical theme park experience, where you have like the little row of shops at the entrance maybe, so I'm not putting the rides up in the top.
Yeah, so if you go to the amenities menu on the left
Ooh,
there, you
okay.
find different stalls and vending machines, things like that.
Nice. Oh, that's so cute. And toilets. I feel like that's
And
important.
toilets, very important. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna jump the gun and just give people toilets first, because I feel like that might come up. Okay, and then it says I should build 3 rides, so I'm researching 1 ride, and I'm gonna build another one. Maybe I'll put it next to this one, a little bit away.
Yeah, so you can see these starter rides are relatively normal, perhaps, but as you research more, they get vastly more interesting, and the Martians enjoy rides themed around the humans.
Right. So I guess that's why the first ride we had to research was the Helto Skelto with a giant toe.
Hmm.
So are we expecting to see like more grotesque rides with human body parts then?
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe
So,
like a human head?
yeah, there might be.
Yeah, cool.
So
Okay,
it's
so
looking like your toilets need water.
Oh,
So
oh no. Okay,
you have to build out
utilities.
in the utilities, a water generator.
So there's a small, and I guess each has their own capacity, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. They have the same running costs. Okay, I'll just buy the big one, since I feel like I'll need a lot of water eventually. And I'll put it in my utilities corner over here. I don't spend a lot of money on pipes.
So pipes are interesting. Humans also need similar things to Martians, so food, water, and things like that.
Right, yeah.
Pipes provide an opportunity for humans to maybe escape a little easier, so you have to think about the security of
Ah.
your pipes when you're laying them through human exhibit or human
Oh, see,
habitat.
yeah, now I'm checking on my little human, and he needs to go to the toilet, and he's dying of thirst.
Yeah, so anything in the human enclosure goes through the enclosure menu, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
And then you
Okay,
can
I'm
click
gonna
on
pause
amenities.
my game so no one like does anything weird while I'm building. So okay, so habitat, no, we pick amenities, right?
Amenities, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you see a
So,
toilet in
okay,
there.
so now that you told me a little bit about the pipes and the security, does that mean then I should aim to have the pipes only at like around the wall perimeter rather than like crossing
You
through
can,
the...
yeah, exactly. So that'll ease the likelihood of the human escaping through the pipes.
Right. Okay, okay, okay. Let's try. But now I feel like the toilet is so exposed,
Well, the point is the guests can see the
I know,
human whatever he
I
does,
guess,
right?
I
So
guess they're like,
there's
oh,
no privacy in Mars.
we want to see them do everything. And it says here they want like a bed. We can give them a little bed. Okay, okay, okay. And then now we have to connect the utilities again, right?
Yep. So just right click to close the menu.
Right click, and then utilities. Then we connect the water. So if I put it just like... Oh, no, it doesn't quite connect. So if you connect it... Oh, okay. Since they're next to each other, they like connect naturally.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, okay. So hopefully the human will tunnel through that tiny little bit. Now I'm like, where is my human even? Is he just lost? Oh no, he's there. There you
He
go.
might be on the toilet.
There you
See?
go. Oh, see, now
Oh,
the
there he is.
beauty is increasing a little bit. Oh, I think I need to give him some stimulation too. Oh, and I need power. I need power for my other ride.
Yep.
So this is
And I think that
easy.
ride needs a queue as well.
Oh,
So at
and a
the entrance
queue,
there,
yes.
there might be a path in the way, so you might just need to remove the path.
Oh, okay. So you should
Well, then the queue.
demo. Okay, now we get to
Yep, there you go. And then go into the rides menu
rides
and
menu. Put the
there we
queue
go.
in. Great. Okay, so now we have 2 rides, and I think we're done researching the toe. Oh, here we are. And we see the giant toe. Okay, this one I think I want people to see right when they enter. So then we add the queue. So why is the toe the first researchable ride?
Well, at the moment in the demo, the tree hasn't been built out, the research tree yet. But you can see in later phases, there's a lot more, based on human activities or body parts. But the toe is basically like a slide, like a helter skelter. So they start off relatively simple and then get more and more elaborate, like roller coasters and things like that as you go on.
Nice. Okay, so now it's saying sell 100 drinks, right? So
Mhm.
I'm like, but now I'm making a drink place. I feel like I might as well put a food place next to it. Maybe some people will
Yep.
get hungry. And
That's probably also worth putting some trash cans around as well.
you're right.
We have a lot of mess.
Okay, so this one requires electricity, so no. It's like, no thanks. I will put a trash can here. Maybe one next to each restaurant just in case. And then I'll put like a little vending machine next to the rides. Maybe. And then maybe another trash can on this side. Ah, there's so many people.
Yeah,
Just
we got a
walking
nice little park
around.
going there.
Oh, and I'm supposed to hire, you can hire staff as well.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I love the names.
Yeah, these are actually just stand-ins for the moment.
Yeah, Marty McFly.
Martin.
He's short-sighted. And Martin Luther King. Oh, he's like surprisingly the cheapest one and has no
Yeah.
no
They're
weaknesses.
randomly generated, so
Yeah.
there's no reflection on the names.
No, of course. And Marshall Mathers is a litter bug. I feel like Martin Luther King is like a no-brainer. Let's hire our janitor. And already I'm selling so many drinks. Yay. I feel like I want to give my human a companion for fun. So what happens when you run out of money? Although we're not close, but is it
Yeah,
just
well,
game over?
that's the challenge of the game. So you could sell some things, or try and get your finances back. You could up your ticket prices, things like that. But really, the challenge of the game is running a financially viable park while expanding it. And as you expand out the park, it'll attract more guests, and the cycle continues. So yeah, that's the that's the fundamental challenge of the game.
For sure. And can you set things like maximum guest capacity? Because now I'm just looking at all these and they're like, wow, there are a lot of people.
Yeah, well, as we kind of got to tweak the balancing for the game as it expands. But as your park grows, you'll attract more and more guests, and the capacity.
No, my human.
So you completed the objective of the short demo.
Yay!
Yeah, then that's just a really quick taste, and it's still a very early build. So we'll be running a alpha in November, which will have a lot more of the kind of content of the game for people to try, and yeah, still kind of integrating feedback so that we can launch early access next year.
This is so exciting. Okay, nice. Yeah, so you were talking to me about, yeah, like what you mentioned, like some more features, like what features can we expect to see in the alpha?
Well, one of the things we're building out at the moment is the research side of things. So in that example, you were just kind of given some research points, but the functionality we're building at the moment is the ability to actually earn those research points. So hiring scientists, placing observation posts in the human enclosure. But again, if you place a lot of Martian buildings near the humans, then they might be a little less happy about being on Mars. So it's kind of that balancing act is what we're working on at the moment. And then the other kind of big change for the alpha is having multiple missions and characters as well. So you get a bit more of a feel for the flow of the wider kind of overworld gameplay.
Oh, wow. So by missions, do you mean like different terrains that you work on, or is it like, does the game give you objectives?
Exactly, yeah. So that was just an example of a single map. And then we'll have a wide range of different environmental types, which have their own challenges and things as you progress through the game.
Okay, so I imagine maybe some of the environments may not be like a flat piece of land.
Exactly, yeah. It might be a little trickier than the tutorial.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool. I thought at first maybe it was like a pure sandbox thing where it's like no limit, you can play for eternity. But it's interesting to see. I'm always a very objective-driven person, so objectives are exciting to me.
Yeah, well, we try and give a bit of a balance of both. So at the end of each mission, once you've completed the objectives, if you want to, you can just stay and build out your park even more.
Mm-hmm.
You've obviously invested a lot of time and effort in making this really nice park, so you can just continue out and play in a sandbox mode. And then if you do want objectives, you can move on to a next mission and see what other challenges are in store.
Nice. What is your favorite feature about the game so far?
Well, I'm really enjoying the research right now because it's something that we're building upon, and I think that element of kind of human experimentation is really interesting and a really unique part of the game compared to a lot of others in the genre.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we've been building out a bit more is a level with giant bugs, which if anybody's familiar with the original Mars Attacks collectible card set, were a big part of that. So
Yeah.
we kind of love those kind of original sci-fi illustrations, so we're trying to do them justice with features in the game as well.
Oh, wow. Giant bugs like that can eat you.
Well, in the game, they're more like tools for the Martians. So the Martians have
Ah,
trained these bugs to do various things. So that's kind of interesting to explore.
that's cool. So it's almost like instead of hiring just like staff, then you can have it bugs help you out.
Uh, yeah, potentially. So we're still working on it. So we'll
Okay,
see
okay, okay.
see what
Exciting.
happens. But yeah, it's kind of experimentation phase at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's like quite a unique component as well.
Mhm.
Awesome. Then, yeah, thank you so much for sharing about the game. Would you like to tell us about a little bit about your studio and the other projects that you have going on?
Yeah, well, we've been going for a few years now. So Mars Attacks is our second game.
Mm-hmm.
So our previous game, you might see behind me,
Yeah.
is This Means Warp, which came out in 2022 and is on PC and consoles now. So that is a multiplayer spaceship management game. So if you're familiar with FDL, it's kind of like a multiplayer FDL
Mm-hmm.
that you can play with your friends.
Nice.
Yeah, so stay tuned for Mars Attacks. All the info is on marsattracks.com. And as I said, we're running a alpha in November. So if people would like to sign up and play the alpha, then yeah, just head over to marsattracks.com. Put in your details and we'll send you an email once the alpha is available.
Perfect. I'm definitely signing up for that. So is it intentional that both your games are so far space themed?
Yes and no. Like we're big sci-fi nerds, so
Yeah.
that might be a driver for that rather than kind of a strategy. But yeah, I think the simulation genre is really what interests us and the kind of depth of systems.
Yeah.
So both of our games are kind of simulation-based games, and that's kind of leans nicely to the possibilities granted by science fiction setting.
That's true. That's true. And I think it'll be very exciting for everyone who's not only a fan of the science fiction genre like you guys, but also a fan of, yeah, simulation games. So, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Paul. Thanks for your time today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you then.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was Mars Attracts. Be sure to go to marsattracts.com if you want to sign up and be one of the first to try the alpha of the game when it comes out in November.